What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about stellar lumens today, XLM. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, my friends, and let's get into it. Okay, so here we are sitting at about 47.6 cents now, on the cusp of seeing this next leg up that's going to take you at least to $1.54, if not above $2, $2.20, something like that, right? And likely you don't even stop at $1.50. I think that you do, your true minimum target should be more considered as like $1.70, but we'll get into that. We'll make more sense out of that. I'm not just going to be like, that's where it's going to go. That's it. You know, I'll explain that in a second. But let's just look at what you're doing here, relatively speaking. Looking at the daily time frame here, finding resistance at the 66 area, which is not too common, I suppose. Maybe for this thing it's a little bit more common, and that's okay. I suspect that you do move down a little bit from here is what this would tell me, but probably not too much. I bet you hold this higher low structure and work your way up into that overbought zone. So a little bit of a pullback maybe to end the week, and maybe even to begin the next week, right? Maybe today you pull back, or you close around here, and then tomorrow you close down a little bit lower, but then you start moving up. You don't even have to go that low in the RSI, right? I would expect that you don't break this, I can't really draw, but that lower high trend, which would mean you probably don't really go too much below 45 cents, if at all below 45 cents from here, right? So good, probably move down. You're at 47.6 cents, but you probably don't go like 2.5 cents lower. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit lower from here. What you're likely doing right now is you're just finding support now at previous areas of resistance, right? You're finding support here where you once found resistance here and found support before. So you're just establishing structure, looking good, getting ready and signaling that you're ready for that next move up, and I think you will. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, yes, this suggests that you'd go down as well, rejecting the 60, but finding support on the 40. It wouldn't surprise me at all if on this move down, you move down to like your 40 area, you got that lower low, but it's an overall higher low here. You're bouncing off of the 40, and that sends you up to the overbought zone, which again would reflect well in the daily as well, the daily time frame, and then of course that reflects well for the price. When you do begin this next move up, the area that I would look for the price, to keep it simple instead of paying attention to the indicators, the price that I would look for confirmation would be at about, I would say 58.88 cents. Let's just make it 59 cents, okay? If you get a day, any given day, to close above 59 cents, albeit even a 4-hour period, let's say 2 4-hour periods to close above 59 cents, I would think that you're in the the ignition of this next move, which again, the minimum target would be at about $1.54, technically like $1.70 to potentially around $2.20, $2.46, and we'll get into that now. Okay, so I think we've gone over the RSI stuff. It all looks good. Yeah, 3-day time frame also looks really good. Weekly, kick ass. Actually, the weekly looks really good, man. If you close here, that's fine. You could close here. You could close a little bit lower. That's fine. But what this suggests is that not this week, and it's obvious you have 18 hours left in this week, but maybe next week, if not the following week, very soon, probably within a 2 to 3 week time frame, if not just a 1 week time frame, you're going to be in the overbought zone. And when you get overbought on the weekly, man, you make some very immaculate moves. I mean, if we look at this cycle, just this cycle alone, right? Here's the bear cycle coming to an end, right? So crab market, bull cycle, whatever. Since Bitcoin started its bull cycle back in January of 2023, that's when Bitcoin started its bull cycle. XLM has been in the overbought zone once, twice on a weekly time frame. The first time brought growth like this. The second time brought growth like this. We are about to see our third attempt into the overbought zone right now. I'm wondering what kind of growth it might bring, right? That's all I'm trying to say. And I think that it's going to be miraculous. It could be in comparison to something like this. I don't think it'll be in comparison to something like this. I think it'd be like larger, a lot larger. It could be smaller than this. It could even be bigger, but let's go ahead and measure these moves out, okay? So the further out we go, the more bullish it looks, right? Because you're just breaking structure after structure, and you're about to break the most bullish structure after all, man. You're literally about to break out of new all-time highs. I think you've already broken out of this pattern, but it's debatable. I mean, maybe it's an ascending triangle, and in which case you're still in the pattern. Maybe it's some kind of diamond pattern, diamond top. I don't know, a parallelogram type pattern. It could be, you know, I could see that. And diamond patterns are defined as with breakouts having high velocity moves, and that absolutely is a high velocity move. But if it's an ascending triangle, who's to say that that couldn't be just an ascending high velocity move to the breakout point? But you are about to break out of very significant price areas and expand into price exploration. from a high to a low of this overall consolidation phase, the minimum target would be 246, okay? And whenever we look at cycle highs to cycle lows, and we start taking these fibs, these are like cycle ending dynamics at play here, okay? So 246, technically, by the book, could be considered as a minimum target for an all-time high. But we know better than that, right? We know better with this. We know better because it's crypto and how a lot of things perform. And then also because you've been consolidating for multiple cycles, you're about to break it here with the most bullish move you've seen in literally like a decade, almost a decade. I doubt you see your minimum target. I would expect you exceed your minimum target, right? Which would technically put the next target at 408, but I don't even think you stop there. Truthfully, I think your true quote-unquote minimum target should be considered at 846, potentially at 222, or more likely somewhere in between, right? Something like that. Again, this was a fib taken from 2 cycles ago, so it might be a little bit quote-unquote dated. From a high to a low of the last cycle, we could expect to see these targets being a little bit more respected this cycle because they're more relevant, right? So maybe if we're going to go above the 1618, maybe we stop at the 200 level, maybe we stop at the 2272, we don't quite reach the 1886, stuff like that, right? If that all makes sense. So instead of a $8.46 to $22 range, we get this $9 to $17.50 range would be kind of my expectation for the end of the cycle. But you're at 47 cents now, man. Your next move would be this minimum target here at 246. We take the high to the low of the last cycle. By that metric, your minimum target would be $1.54, and your next target would be 218. Technical target at the high would be 358. I suppose it's possible, but I think this 218, 246 area, specifically around $2, is where you're going to go. It's the same old song and dance we've been singing for a little while, guys. But I think it's exciting what Stellar Lumens is looking like it wants to do right now. You really are on the cusp of seeing higher prices. It might feel like this like you're going on a vacation, right? And imagine it's the week before you're going on vacation. You're excited to go, but that's the slowest week of your life. It's like every day is a week in its own. You are about to go. You really are about to go. But this is that pre-vacation week. It might be 2 days. It might be 3 days left. It might be 1 day left. But that'll be the slowest day of your life until it happens, right? It's going to happen soon, guys. And by it, I mean this next move up. And I would expect that this next move up has a certain vivaciousness, a certain I was going to say tenacity, but I wanted to make more of a word that would say something like an aggressive move, an eruptive move, similar to this, but I think it'll be slower, right? And that's the last thing I want to touch on is I do expect a very similar move, like tit for tat, overall growth. It might be very similar to this because if we take this from that given low there to that high there, that's at 223. That's the given target, that measure move there. So if we saw that same move, it put us all the way up at 223. My theory is that it just takes longer though, right? And here you can see that I measured from low here to the high there. So not only is that the percentage, that's the overall growth, but the space, the width of this is in itself the time frame, right? Like the width here, that's the time. That's how long it took. So I don't need to measure again for timing unless we wanted the numbers for that, but we don't. But essentially, when this move gets going, which could be soon, let's just say it's soon right now, that puts you, if you were to take as long as the last move, that would put you at the 7th of February. I don't think you're going to find your next high in the 7th, but a little bit after that, maybe the next week, maybe 2 weeks afterwards, that makes sense to me. So that's the time frame that I'm expecting. Of course, this is cryptocurrency, and I've been saying that a lot lately, especially because certain coins like this one like to remind us that this is cryptocurrency, right? Moved up 300% this week. Beautiful move. XLM, even though it's a top dog, man, it is a cryptocurrency and it can do things just like this. Even though I'm expecting it to take a little bit longer, it could say, screw your expectations, man. I'm going to do my thing. I'm expecting 220. It could say, screw your expectation, man. I'm doing my thing. I'm going up to above $3 here. And it might not even hit that. Maybe it does only go to $1.50, $1.60. We don't know. But that's why we address these targets. And then as the time goes on, hopefully we'll be better prepared to understand what to do from there. So I got nothing else for you guys. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.